Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Football by Rob. It's Rob here. I'm going to be breaking down what I feel should be Arsenal's perfect transfer window, the kind of transfer policy I feel that they should deploy if they want to actually be serious in the 25-26 season. And I'm just going to do that by quickly cutting from this intro to my laptop screen. You'll see me in the corner, and yeah, we'll just take it from there. All right. So I'll catch you on the other side. So let's get started. We have David Raya on top, goalie. I'm really happy with him. He's been solid for us since he signed 2 seasons ago. And I expect him to be as good, if not better, moving into next season. Neto, again, I don't really know why we even got him in on a loan. It was an absolute waste. Didn't play, didn't do anything. I didn't even know he was there, and we could have just given that spot to a youth academy kid. Mm, Again, I have nothing to say about him. William Saliba, solid player, had some mistakes this season. I think that was probably down to Gabby not being available all the time. He is the kind of player, that I don't think he is ready to be the leader of the centre back pairing just yet. He's somebody who is a very good deputy to the main centre back, in my opinion. But solid player, we need to get him tied down to a new contract if possible. And the sooner we can do that, the better. Gabby, I'm really happy we've got his contract done. He's injured right now, but I expect him to come back strong. Jakub Kivior. Now, this guy might want to leave, especially because Gabby's just signed a new deal. And I won't blame him personally because it's a World Cup year. We have to remember that. And any player who thinks they are good will want guaranteed starting minutes. So if Gabby is fit and available, it's really hard to break into the team. And I can totally understand if Kivior wants to, move or find a team, even if it's not at Arsenal's stature, as long as it's giving him regular minutes, considering Poland are also looking to get to the World Cup. Lewis Kelly, I'm really happy with him. I just hope we don't overplay him and, run him down. He's still young. I don't want him to get burnt out. But he's really good. I really like him. And I have a feeling it's going to be him who's going to start the season as a starting left back. And that is because Ricardo Calafiori, who we signed, I'm not his biggest fan. He's good. He's a nice player. I didn't think we really needed a player like him at that point in time last season. But then I also think that they were probably operating with the knowledge that Kieran Tierney was going to leave probably, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with the man right below him, Alexander Zinchenko. This man also, I think he has just 1 year left on his contract, if you see right here. So I would want to see Arsenal entertaining offers for him. If somebody is interested in buying him, we should definitely do a deal. Because otherwise, I think he's going to leave for free. He's not adding value, he's not gaining value. So it makes no sense to just keep him on. We are at this point in time where we cannot have passengers and pedestrians in the squad. We will need everybody pulling their weight. So if we want to actually compete at the top level, we will need everybody to earn their paycheck, if it makes sense. And I'm not seeing Alexander Zinchenko doing that consistently right now, to be honest. Kieran Tierney, again, he's already confirmed that he's leaving, going to Celtic. I'm sad to see him go because I really wanted him to do well at the club. He was a player that I really liked, especially in our banter era when we were just absolutely shambolic. Urian Timber, another solid player. I really like him. I hope Ben White, right below him, he stays fit because this man played a lot of minutes last season, especially coming back from a really bad injury. And I don't want him to pick up any, problems again because of extensive play. So between the two of them, I'm happy with both of them. They're both of them contracts are going till 2028, so we're fine for the time being. At least we can focus on other things. Now, Tomiyasu. This man also has 1 year left on his contract. Another fullback who has had horrendous luck when it comes to injuries at Arsenal. So I will honestly say that we should consider cutting our losses if it is possible. I'm not seeing it because given his injury history, I don't see anybody lining up to get him unless they get him at an absolute cut price. And more importantly, I just don't think he will want to move either, and he will just probably go on a free. So, in case it's possible, we should consider it. I'm not saying we should just terminate his contract just like that. That will be a bit too heartless, in my opinion. Especially since he's been a professional for the club, so I don't have anything against him like that. Now, moving forward to midfield, Thomas Partey, another uncertainty. I'm not sure. In my plans, he doesn't exist because I don't know if he's going to extend his contract or not. One day I hear he's signing a new deal, the next day I hear Saudi Arabia are in for him. So I'm not really sure, but if he wants to leave, he can leave because he also has had a spotty track record when it comes to injuries, and he's not turned up for all the top games for us. Like, the games that really matter. There have been games where he goes missing, and it ends up costing us. So there we go. Declan Rice. This guy needs to be given the captain's armband or at least officially made the vice captain so that when Martin isn't on the pitch, he is the captain. He is the loudest voice in the dressing room, on the field as a leader for us. And that I think is massive. Again, his contract is until 2028, so I'm fine with that. Mikel Merino, right below him, again, decent player, serviceable. I don't have anything great to say about him also, but I'm not going to slander him either. Good player. And he put in a real shift for us as a makeshift striker when we were down in the dumps, so I'm happy with him. Martin Odegaard. This man regressed massively, and it pains me to say this because I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm a Martin Odegaard fan. I've loved watching him play. I've seen him play live. Amazing player on his day. But ever since that injury that he suffered at the start of the season, and then when he came back, and it just happened to coincide with Saka getting sidelined for an extended period of time, and that just shot his confidence. And since then, he hasn't been the same player, and it's just it's painful to watch. It's pitiful at times to see him like that. When he shot for confidence, he's really sad to watch. And I think this is a position that we should consider getting a replacement for. Now, I'm going to mention all that as we move down the line. Gabriel Martinelli, again, another hot and cold season. He ended the season relatively better than he started it. Had some injuries in the middle as well. I think we need some competition for him as well. And I say that for two reasons. One is so that we can keep him on his toes. He hasn't hit the sort of heights that we expected when he initially signed. I remember Unai Emery signed him. So I think he needs somebody to keep him on his toes. And another reason is because there's this man, Leandro Trossard. I don't see him extending his deal. And he is down to his last year as well. If we can get an offer for him, we should consider it. Now, I don't know if anybody will want to buy him for the kind of money that we would consider a profit, except for Saudi Arabia, maybe. Whether he will want to move to Saudi Arabia 1 year prior to a World Cup and how that could impact his chances for making the Belgian national team, again, another uncertainty that's hanging in the air. So I'm not really sure. But if we can move him on, we should. And look at replacements at the same time. Bukayo Saka. Again, we need to keep this man, and at all costs. We have to give him a new contract, give him what he wants. He cannot be allowed to leave. And we also need to get some backup for him so that he isn't playing all the time and he isn't getting injured and then getting sidelined. This knee injury that he had, this was his first major injury of his career. So I want to keep him safe. And that will mean finding somebody who can distribute minutes, and not just have Saka playing all the time, even in the games that don't matter or not that consequential. Next, Wanyeri. Now, this is somebody who can be the Saka replacement, the backup to Saka, if and when required. But he is somebody who wants to play down the middle ideally. That is the position that he was playing in when he came up the youth ranks at Arsenal. Now, are we going to keep him there and look for a central attacking midfielder, or are we going to keep him as Odegaard's backup in CAM and look for a right winger, or have a situation where we play him in both places. I would want to avoid that third option because that is the perfect recipe of getting a player burnt out and then having them get an injury. You need to bleed them in. So you cannot just have them playing all the time. I know there are kids nowadays who are playing every single minute, and but then you see what happened to Pedri. I won't be surprised if something like that happens to Yamal unless he also starts regulating his minutes. I sincerely hope he does because he's a generational talent, and it would be a crime for football if that was robbed by injury or negligence on the part of his team or himself or his coaching staff for that matter. Anyway, so that's coming back to Wanyeri. That's what I think. That we shouldn't be playing him all the way as well, but we need to think about figuring out some replacements as well. Raheem Sterling, my God, the less I say, the better. I don't want to speak. If I speak, I will be in trouble. This man, I will welcome Yossi Benayoun with open arms. Give me Kim Kallstrom any day of the week. I will take that. I will take that over this, or whatever this man did. And for the kind of money, daylight robbery, crime. Anyway, yeah, Kai Havertz next, right? This man, I have nothing against him. Absolute thorough professional, worked himself into the ground. Again, another player who literally ran himself into an injury for us last season. And he is somebody who is just needlessly slandered. Okay, well, not completely needlessly. I mean, he has missed some really important chances. I remember he missed so many in the FA Cup final game against United. That was on my birthday, by the way. I sat and watched that horrendous performance on my birthday. Thanks, Arsenal. Good job. But I don't hate on him because I have always seen him give effort. I would rather have a player who is always giving effort but can work on his finishing over somebody who doesn't put in an effort. His work rate, his work ethic, the way he's always chasing players down, the way he's making space for our other attackers to run into, that is something that we should be really thankful for and grateful for as Arsenal fans. But again, while I say all that, this man cannot, and I repeat, cannot be the starting center forward, the man that you rely on to lead the front line exclusively. No. And again, why do I say exclusively? Because right below him, Gabriel Jesus, another player I really like, who somehow, I don't know, ever since he's come into North London, he's managed to become an Abu Dhabi regen. Injured more than he's available. And even when he's available, it's nothing to write home about all the time. So I'm really torn on this. He has a contract till 2027. I think we should be considering offers for him also. I don't expect anybody to put a bid for him. I don't think he's going to be even back in contention to just play until the end of the year, like sometime in November, because he did his ACL in Jan. So I don't expect him to be back in time for anybody to sign him right now, right? And then, will he want to move 6 months before the World Cup? And will anybody want to buy him off like 1.5 months of play? That is best case scenario. We don't even know. He could have a setback in rehab. So I'm not really too sold on him. Now, I think we should keep this in mind when we try to formulate the transfer policy that I have in mind, that I'm trying to explain to you. Before I start that, I have been reading stories from proper journalists and ITKs that 2 deals are more or less done. And that is, one is this man, Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea. Now again, I know people are going to laugh and they're going to say, yes, once again, Arsenal going to the Chelsea barrel to scrape from the bottom. But in this case, I don't have anything against it personally, because I believe the sum that is being discussed is 5 million. 5 million for a backup keeper. I'm happy with. And more importantly, he is happy to be back up from what I'm reading, and he isn't going to kick up a fuss. At least I hope so. So I'm okay with that. He can take some minutes of Raya, and we don't have to spend a ransom. More importantly, it will be a permanent transfer, leaving a loan berth free if we need to loan somebody. Last year in January, we couldn't get anything done in the Premier League because we had Neto and Sterling, the two Premier League loanees, who were doing nothing other than picking up paychecks just for the heck of it. And that is, I think, one of the reasons that we faltered. We could have at least got some players in on loan from the Premier League. There were a lot of disgruntled players moving around. We could have looked into that market had we not already filled our slots up with these waste men, both of them, the lot of them. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to get too riled up about that. So yeah, I'm okay with Kepa as long as he is going to be second choice. I don't want him being first choice. I don't want a situation where Arteta is playing him one day, Ramsdale the next, or there is discussion where I have two number ones. I don't want that woke nonsense. Next player who we have been told is more or less done, and I saw a report today again from Ornstein that it's just a matter of time and it's going to be like when more than if, and that is Martin Zubimendi. Now I know some fans are going to have scars of the past because we have lost out on targets and players, and this guy has a track record of being flaky, but I'm okay with him. I think it's going to be a good deal. I've also read that initially the discussion was it was going to be a straight up release clause payment. But if the Athletic are to be believed, they are saying that they are going to pay a slightly higher sum than the release clause, but it will now be paid in installments. So it's not going to be one lump sum, and that is going to be better for us PSR wise because we can amortize that transfer fee that we are paying for this player. So that's good. I'm okay with that. Now, so these two signings are out of the way. I think we can all agree, whether you're an Arsenal fan or not, that the main transfer criteria or the main requirement for Arsenal this summer is a striker. Now, I am in the camp where I believe we need a proven killer. The kind of player you see in the tunnel and your heart sinks. And you are like, oh no, this guy's going to bag on me today. We haven't had a player like that since Aubameyang. Before that, it was Van Persie for that 2-year period where he was doing well before he went off to United. And before that, it was Henry and Adebayor maybe. We need a proper killer. Last season, Arsenal, if we go by the stats, no player finished with more than 10 goals. No player. What does that say? That doesn't really speak well for a team who wants to contend, who wants to try and win all the time. If you want to do that without a striker, then all your auxiliary players need to be getting 15-20 goals. At least two of them need to be getting 20 goals, and then everybody else goes to 15 and 10 and so on and so forth, and everybody contributes the way City do. We don't do that. And I don't want us to be in a situation where even the ones who can score, they get injured, and the ones who can't score, they're also injured. And next thing you know, we are just, begging and scrounging for a set piece or something like that. Yes, it's good to be good on your set pieces, but that cannot be your bread and butter. Bread and butter, the meat and potatoes, it has to be a striker, proven killer, proper bagsman. I need a bagsman. Now, if all the reports are to be believed, we are probably going to go for this man, Benjamin Sesko. Again, I think he's good. I've seen bits and flashes of him occasionally in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League whenever I could catch him. And I caught him in last year's Euro as well. He's okay. He has potential. He looks like a young Ibra without all that attitude. And I'm okay with him. He's tall as well, so he's going to be good in the air. He's athletic, he's mobile, he's strong. But is he somebody who is a win now striker? No. Not in my opinion. I think he still has ways to go. Again, I'm not hating on him. Good player, solid player, but not a win now kind of striker in my opinion. If we just see his stats, I'm going to open his stats and then detailed. So this man has 21 goals and 6 assists from 45 games. And he has 4 penalty goals. Okay. Is that enough? I just mentioned, right? We need somebody who can give us 20 goals a season. You look at Liverpool. Congrats to them. Absolutely amazing job winning the title. But that was down to Mo Salah. He single-handedly won them so many points. His goals, his assists, single-handedly won them points. Turning losses into draws, turning draws into wins. And that can only be done by a proper killer. No XG merchant, none of this possession, uh, you know, jargon, or how do you want to call it, gaslighting. I'm not going to be gaslit into just thinking XG and possession are the be all and end all. Goals are the be all and end all. I don't care how you get it in. You get it in the back of the net. So we need that. Now, I personally don't think Sesko is the answer right now. He could be the answer 2-3 years from now. For all we know, if we don't sign this guy, 3 years from now, we could be looking at him the way we look at Isak right now. Because I remember when we were signing Jesus, I wanted Isak. But we weren't willing to pay the kind of money that Newcastle were willing to pay at that point in time. And now look at how it's panned out. I would take Isak in a heartbeat. But we can't do that now because it's not possible. It's not feasible. I have a feeling that we could look back on this with regret as well. But that regret will be contingent on whether we succeed or not. If we sign somebody who wins us a title or who wins us a major trophy, and no, not Carabao or FA Cup, I'm talking Champions League, Premier League only, then I'm not going to be that sad. And Sesko is what, 23, 24? There is still time. He's 22 now. Sorry. So there is still time to go after him. Again, maybe by then he will be too big for us and it'll be just Real Madrid and Barca or something like that. But yeah, I'll be okay with it, provided we win now. We have come close so far, so many times, that it hurts. And I think the man who can do that is this man, Victor Gyökeres. Again, I can hear people already in the comment section going, oh, the Portuguese league form doesn't translate well into the Premier League and this, that, and the other. Fair. But I still think this guy is a really good player. And he is clinical. He will frustrate as well, but he is somebody who scores consistently. And I think we are in a situation where we would benefit with him over Sesko. The one thing where I think Sesko has over him is Sesko is better in the air. I have not seen this man head a ball properly. I've only caught glimpses of him for Sweden and in the Champions League. He scores consistently, and I like that. I've also seen highlights of his from the Portuguese league, where a lot of fuss was made about his penalty goals. If you see, he has 12 penalty goals in 39 in the league, and a total of 19 in all of them. In the Portuguese Cup, he actually scored a stoppage time penalty to take the game to extra time. I'm not going to slander a player who is scoring penalties consistently, because penalties are also goals. I'm not a snob. I don't want it only to be flashy or tiki-taka. Goals are goals. And especially considering Arsenal, if you go back to that FA Cup game, Martin Odegaard's penalty, my grandmother, 76-year-old next door, could have hit it better. Bukayo Saka's penalty at the Bernabeu, we were so lucky we got out of that game. But that could have very easily have been egg on our face had that result and that tie gone differently. All because of people trying to be over smart. It's okay, be confident, but in these sort of situations, I need them buried. If you want to do that against Shrewsbury Town, fine. Man United, Real Madrid, No. No. No messing about, no faffing about. Simple. Simple stuff. You do the simple stuff right. Now, I think Gyökeres is going to be the perfect signing in that position. But if we get Sesko, and it looks like we will get Sesko, I'm going to back him. I'll back him. The same way I've backed Jesus, the same way I've backed Havertz, I'll back him. No issues with that. Let's get that clear. We move on. So, we've seen the striker done. Now, I think the next piece of business that we do should be a winger, but that will be contingent on whether we are also getting a center attacking midfielder or not. I did hear some rumors about Arsenal wanting this man, Morgan Rogers. Considering the fact that Aston Villa are in a PSR hole and we could try and get him, I would be okay to that. But it depends on the price. There are no bad prices when it comes to, young players. But when it comes to the Premier League, you also have to make sure that you are not getting fleeced needlessly. This guy, his value shot up. He's 55 million at this point in time. If we see his contract, where is his contract? Stats, market value. Okay, he has a long contract. So I don't see that happening. Now, I would personally prefer that we go along this route. Max Dowman, 15-year-old. He's currently in the England under 17 and he is in the Arsenal under 18 team. I think we need to call him up. He'll be 16 by the end of the year. I think we need to try and find a situation where we can call him up to the squad and try and integrate him ASAP. I've seen clips of him. I've seen both for the national team and Arsenal. He's really good. He makes other players look average, pedestrian in front of him. And he is somebody who can move the ball really well. He's creative. As you can see, he can play right wing. He can also play center midfield. He's box to box, but he can also be a CAM. This, I think, will help a lot because this is again similar to the Odegaard Saka type of profile. If you remember what I said earlier, we need backups. We need people who we can distribute the minutes to in an equitable fashion that allows them to develop as well, but at the same time allowing people like Odegaard and Saka to take a rest, have some time off in case they are going through a bad patch of form, in case there are injuries. But at the same time, we can't be over-reliant where Max Dowman is ending up playing like 30 games a season. Even if he's playing 30 minutes each game. I wouldn't want that much pressure on him just yet. Maybe in a year's time. But I would be okay with him. Now, I'm moving Morgan Rogers. I don't think we need him. Now we go to the winger that we're talking about. Now, I will say, given the fact that we have Nwaneri, given the fact that, okay, hypothetically, let's assume that Dowman is going to go. The left wing is where I see us short. Trossard might leave and has a year left, so we need to think about contingencies from now itself. I have seen this man being linked a lot, Nico Williams. I don't want him. I don't have anything against him, good player, solid player, but his salary is going to be an issue. And his salary is something that can totally, upend our books and make it difficult to balance afterwards. Because he can only go up from here, right? Nobody's going to take a pay cut unless they're down in the dumps. And I don't think it makes sense for us to offer him the kind of money that Athletic Bilbao are on and the kind of money him and his agent are going to be demanding. So I don't want him. The other name that I see linked is Rodrigo. Solid player, world class, proven on the greatest stages, but I don't want him. Why? Well, I don't think he will track back at the same level that we expect. We have fullbacks who want to move up, and for that to work, we need wingers who are willing to track back as well. I think he's been bit by that Real Madrid diva bug, where he doesn't want to track back to the same extent, because he's been around the likes of Vinny and Mbappe and all that. Now, Vinny and Mbappe, they can still do that and be justified so long as everyone else is working really hard and they are also delivering. If you see the metrics, I'm not going to put them up here, but if you see the metrics, Real Madrid actually expected that they will have a 15 goal difference, positive difference, when it comes to Mbappe being in the attack and their defense suffering as a result of Mbappe being in the attack. But if you see the actuality, Mbappe underperformed his XG for the season, and Real Madrid actually conceded more goals than 15. So not only was he not able to balance the lack of defending ability on this side, he wasn't going to make up for it with his scoring as well. So it didn't help. And I think if he comes to the Premier League, it's not going to, I mean, to Arsenal at least, unless we can get him in a situation where he's of this mindset that he's going to track back, he's not going to be a diva, then fine. But otherwise, I don't see that. Even if he's willing to work for the team, this 90 million price, and again, I'm not sure if this will be the price or not. He has a contract till 2028, so Real Madrid are well within their right to negotiate. Or you never know, they might want to put in some sort of future sweetener for a Saliba deal or some other player if they want. You know, Real Madrid, they want who they get. And I'm not really sold on him personally. So, who do we get then in place of him? We also can look at Eberechi Eze. I like him a lot. Solid player, can play center attacking midfield, so he can be the Odegaard cover as well. He can play left as well. I'm not sure about his tracking back, but I think that can be worked out, considering he will have a lot of English players. He will be on the side where Declan will be if he signs, and I'm pretty sure that can get instilled. He's a good player. He's creatively solid as well, so he can take the load of Saka and Odegaard to create as well. He's really good on set pieces, be it corners or free kicks. So another massive tick for me. He's young, he has flair, he can beat a man. I don't see anything wrong with him. And I would be okay with him. I wanted Michael Olise last season, and we didn't get him. I would still want Michael Olise, but we can't get him, so I'd be okay with him. Or we can look at this man, Kaoru Mitoma. Another really, really good player. Absolute solid work ethic, good touch, good finishing ability, and he also tracks back. He isn't a diva, prem proven. I like him. I think we should be looking at either him or Eberechi Eze way before we even entertain thoughts for a Nico Williams or a Rodrigo, personally. Because I think they will gel well with the team. I don't want a superstar name just for the sake of it who upends the team and upends the chemistry and the balance. I want a signing that actually works. It doesn't have to be the flashiest of signings. Some can even say Mitoma will be a really solid signing as considering the Asian market. I have seen him play live in Brighton. I have seen the kind of Japanese fan craze that was there at the Amex, going to games. I remember him scoring live in front of me in the FA Cup game against Liverpool when he scored the 89th minute winner. Amazing, amazing player. And I would be really happy if he signed him. He has a decent injury track record as well, so I'd be okay with it. Now, another player that we can consider, or we need to consider in my opinion, for striker is Jonathan David. And this is because I want two strikers. Even if we sign Gyökeres or Sesko, I want a striker with him. Not Gyökeres and Sesko, one of them, and Jonathan David. Why Jonathan David? He is going to have his contract run out at the end of the season. I haven't seen any concrete links for him. He's on a free, and he's played well this season. If you see his stats, I remember watching him in Champions League. He was decent, really good. I think he's got like 7 goals for them in the season. Let's go to detailed. Yeah, he's got 7 goals in the Champions League. He's got 16 goals in Liga, 12 assists, a total of 9 penalty goals. Yeah, what's not to like? For a free, I'd take him all day of the week. It'll just be his wages that we'll need to discuss and maybe a signing on fee. I don't expect him to ask for a king's ransom. So that should be what we consider, in my opinion. And that also allows us to not have this excuse, oh, our striker went down and oh, we don't have any option now. Because, like Henry said in that overlap interview, Mikel Arteta has been building for a while. And now he either needs to deliver or I don't know what's going to happen. But this building cannot be left like that Mile High Club that was being built in GTA 5 and just left there in its unfinished state. It's not worth it. We've been promised a big transfer window, 200 million or so, or even more than that. Again, and maybe if we are getting any sales done, we can consider more. But this is the squad that I think we should be looking at. This should be our squad that we try to build. So I have Raya, Arrizabalaga. We have Jurrien Timber and White. Saliba and Jurrien Timber can be his backup. If Kivior leaves, we have to look into the centre back market. I was reading in the Athletic that Mark Gehi could be an option, but again, I'm not sure how concrete that is just yet. And left back, we have Luis Kelly, Calafiori, and centre midfield, Rice and Havertz, or we have Merino and Zubimendi. Actually, I won't have Havertz here, to be honest. I don't know where we play him. Or maybe he'll have to go a little bit ahead, possibly. But yeah, so if we go back, I will still have, Odegaard and Dauman over there. Saka and Wanyeri. Yeah. Eze ahead of Martinelli. I will take Eze again, or Mitoma, but here I could only put 2 players. And I will take Gyökeres and Jonathan David. That should be my team. Again, this Havertz one, I'm not really sold on. Maybe we'll have him move a little bit further ahead. Actually, you know what? Let me try and redo this. Hold on. Move. Why you no move? Oh, that's weird. They don't want to move. You know what? I'm just going to leave it there. What do you think? Who do you think Arsenal should be targeting? Do you think this squad or the lineup or my transfer policy makes sense? Or am I just not, saying things that should be done? Or is there any other player that I have missed out that you think we should be looking at? Let me know. You can drop a like and subscribe in the if you think my content is worth it. You can leave a comment if you think I'm making sense, or if you want to dispute something as well, let me know. And I'm going to leave it at that. All right. So cheers. See you guys. Take care. Peace.